So I've been walking in the garden here lately, kind of thinking on things. And I think that a lot of people maybe start gardening for the wrong reasons, or the reason you started gardening maybe has changed from why you're gardening now, kind of thing. So I thought today, let's have a Sunday conversation on just a few topics that have been kind of crawling around in the old dome right here. So sit back, relax, grab your coffee, and let's have a chat. I think a lot of us start gardening for the wrong reasons. We see what other people are growing. We see all these beautiful gardens online, these giant harvests, and before we know it, we're growing things that we don't eat, comparing ourselves to other gardeners, and spending more time worrying than actually enjoying the garden. So seriously, think about it. How many of you watching this right now fall into one of those categories that I just mentioned? I think when it comes to social media, we can tend to get influenced pretty easy. And I am absolutely guilty of this. I don't try to influence you by saying you have to grow this because of this. I like to show different things that we can grow, and then allow everyone to make their own decisions. I try not to push things so hard to where you're growing something that you won't eat. But at the same time, if you've never had it, if you've never grown it, how do you know, right? Does that make sense? So let's talk about that topic right there. What you always hear once you start gardening: grow only what you're going to eat. Grow what you're going to eat. Grow what you're going to eat. Well, I can kind of see this in two different ways. Let me explain. Is growing specifically only what you're going to eat the most important thing? If you're on a limited budget, if you have limited space, then yes, I can totally see that you should probably mainly focus on growing what your family is going to eat, right? At the same time, if you flip that around just a little bit, what is wrong with growing maybe one crop of something you've never even grown before, let alone tried, and seeing if you like it? You never know. It might become a staple in your household, right? And you wouldn't know that if you don't give it a shot. Make sense? So when you hear these terms like, or you hear these phrases, or you hear seasoned gardeners start saying, hey, you should only plant what you're going to eat. Well, no, not in my case, because most of what I grow, I give away. And that actually brings joy to me to help others, to give something from my garden that somebody else really could use, something they could really need, or something that they really need for a meal, a few meals, things of that nature. So where am I getting at here? If you're going to start gardening, or maybe you're a seasoned gardener, you've been doing this for a long time, I encourage and invite you, kind of challenge, to grow something that you might never have grown before. Like, here's an example right here. This cucumber right here, I have never grown before. I mean, look how big that thing is. In fact, it's about ready to harvest. It's finally fully brown. But there you go. That's something I've never grown. I'm probably going to eat some of it, but I'm not going to eat all that. So I can give this away to someone who would actually need it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And when you're gardening, there are advices that you're given you don't necessarily need to follow. And I tend to go down that route. When I'm given advice on certain things, maybe advice I did not ask for, I like to kind of twist that advice, see if I can change it into something that benefits me or others, or not necessarily benefits me, but actually is more me at the core. And this advice right here, only grow what you're going to eat, does not apply to me, does not work with me, and I will never actually go with that advice, because again, I want to push outside the bounds of that advice and try to change it into something that benefits not just me but others. And here comes the rain. Well, since it's raining, let's continue here under the patio. The second thing I want to talk about is how I think a lot of people fall into this category also, is you start comparing your garden to other gardens, right? Now, whether this is your neighbor, family member, someone you see on social media, I think it's kind of human nature to kind of compare our gardens to others. Well, here's what I want to tell you all right now, and this is the advice I would hope everyone would actually really follow. Don't compare your gardens to anybody else's. And I know that might sound kind of weird coming from someone here on social media, but I don't want you comparing your gardens to mine. Just like I don't compare my gardens to anybody else on social media. My garden is my garden. We have areas in the garden that you don't want people to see, and I tend to show it. In fact, I'll show it right now. My patio is kind of my catch-all. So I'm pleasantly, chaotically organized. I know where everything is. But is this something that most people in social media are going to show? They're going to show the parts that you don't want to see. They only want to show all the beautiful stuff. They don't want to show the dead plants or the mistakes, because we all are going to have those in gardening. You're going to have plants that die. You're going to have a bed that for some reason everything is just laughing at you and won't grow. It's part of it. But I think if you start comparing your gardens to, say, we'll just use my garden as an example. Well, Chad's growing this. Why can't I grow this? Well, look at what Chad just harvested. Why aren't I getting those harvests? You also need to remember this key fact when it comes to anything on social media, when it comes to gardening. Most people are only going to show all the good stuff. They're not going to show the real stuff. They're not going to show all the good, the bad, the in-between. I do, and if you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you know I'm telling the truth. I'll show everything. I don't care, because that's gardening. This is not an HGTV backyard YouTube channel. I'm showing everything. I am showing the good, the bad, the ugly, all the pests, everything that dies, all the harvests, all the beautiful tomatoes that you harvest, and then the next day you've got an armyworm crawling out of it that you never saw. I show all that stuff, and in that realm, you shouldn't compare to what you think is a perfect garden, because there is no such thing as a perfect garden. You should compare your gardens to your gardens. Maybe compare this year's garden of yours to last year's garden of yours. But don't go down the rabbit hole, and especially if you're a beginner gardener, going down the rabbit hole of, well, I mean, he's in the same zone I'm in, or she's in the same zone I'm in, and they're growing this, that, or the other. Why isn't this, that, and the other growing for me? Don't do that. Don't do that, y'all. Research your area. Research your weather patterns. Figure out what you're doing or not doing that's causing whatever issue it is that you're having with whatever said crop it is we're talking about. I amend my beds a lot. I am constantly putting nutrients into the beds. And I go probably above and beyond, to be honest. But I do that for a reason, because I want to have lots of things growing, lots of different vegetables, lots of different herbs, lots of different flowers growing, so I can share. And also, when something doesn't work, guess what I do? I share it. So, don't get caught into the comparing. I know if you're looking on YouTube, for example, you might see a channel with a massive harvest. You know, a big table full of vegetables and fruits and all that. And I know you can get sucked in. You're like, oh man, that's going to be me next week. Slow down, y'all. Just enjoy the journey, right? Just enjoy the journey. And don't compare to others. Just compare your gardens to your gardens. And then tweak them and roll on. All right, this final topic that I kind of wanted to talk about, that I've been really thinking about, is just really simply this. slow down. Just slow down and observe. I think a lot of us, and myself included, can get into these habits of when you go in the garden, you're just going. All right, I need to plant this right now. I need to harvest this right now. I need to water really quick. You know what I mean? Like you're in this rat race. Gardening should not be a rat race. Yes, we have time schedules that we have to stick to based on our grow seasons and all that. I get that. But when you go in the garden, y'all, it should be a enjoyable, relaxing time that just makes you smile and makes you slow down just a little bit and observe. And I don't think enough of us observe our gardens probably the way that we should. And let me explain what I mean by that. If you are always in a hurry, right? Are you really seeing all the beauty that's in front of us right here? I mean, you're going to see the green. You're going to see plants that are dying or vines that got hit by squash vine borers, or you're going to see that kind of stuff. But are you taking your time to notice those beautiful flowers at the top of the trellis? And if you're not noticing those flowers, then you don't notice what plant is about to grow, right? Because all you're doing is focusing down here, and I got to harvest this, I got to get to this, I got to, amend this, I got it. But if you take your time and you just stand and observe, imagine everything that you can see that you normally would not have seen. Maybe something like those loofah flowers up there at the top, which means I have loofah coming, right? Another really important thing about observing is, let me paint the picture for you. You're in your garden, right? And I've talked about this before, about our perception. When we walk in our gardens, we're normally standing straight up. I mean, obviously, right? We're not all hunched over. We're not, crawling around the garden on our knees kind of thing. We're standing our normal height. So we get so used to seeing our gardens from this height that you might not notice things that if you just squat down, or maybe get a chair, one of those kneeling stools that I've shown, and you just sit down. Well, you lower yourself 2 to 3 feet, right? Your entire garden changes. Your perception of your garden changes. Everything you're seeing is now a different perspective. And those plants that the leaves are covering all the fruit, now if you lower yourself, you see the fruit. You see also pests. You see the beauty that's in the garden along with the bad things that are in the garden. You observe your garden in a different way if you just slow down just a little bit. So I challenge everyone to go in your gardens today after watching this video, if it's not raining, and if you're able to, and change where you're sitting. Maybe you're always so used to sitting in one section of the garden. I love to sit right back in that corner under those sunflowers. I love that corner. I also love to be underneath this arch right here. Just something about those two areas of the garden are very, very peaceful to me, without the mosquitoes. But those are the areas that I love to sit. But sometimes I force myself to then go over here. I'll sit over on this side of the garden and look this way. Changes up your entire perspective, and you see things that you don't normally see when you just slow down and observe what your garden is doing. And if you're really paying attention, you're going to see things that you're not used to seeing that are growing right under your nose in your garden. And that's just taking your time, slowing down, just enjoying being in the garden. That zen for you, right? If you're watching this channel and you're watching this video and you're at this point of the video, then you're a gardener. And probably some, if not all, of what I've been saying in this video is hitting home. And if it is, that's great. Drop it in the comments. Let's have a conversation about this topic. But these are things that I think are very important when it comes to gardening in general. Just slow down. Don't compare yourself at all to anybody, to any garden. And if you're going to listen to advice, really think about the advice you're being given. I understand the only grow what you eat advice to a point, but That's not me. And I think you should garden to what's best for you, who you are as a person, and what you feel you're going to be able to do with what you grow. Again, I like to push boundaries. I like to grow things that aren't normal, and I love to give food away. It just brings a joy to my heart that I don't really get in any other way. Giving unto others is a true blessing for me as a person. So that's advice I'm not going to listen to. Just going to be honest right there. All right, everyone. So that is my Sunday conversation for today. I hope I have explained my points in a way that makes total sense to everybody. And again, if you don't agree or you have a different way of looking at something that I've said, or maybe different points, please drop them in the comments. Be classy, though. Let's not get all crazy. And let's have a discussion and talk about these things. I started this video really want to talk about advice that you shouldn't listen to. That was kind of my thought on this video, but I've kind of changed it a little bit when I started really thinking about it and putting the video down on paper. There are advices that you should listen to, and there's advices that you shouldn't. And only you can determine what advice is either one of those categories, listen to or don't listen to. Me personally, I take all the rules, I take all the advice, I take all that you should do this and this and this and this. And I like to sit back, write it down, kind of brainstorm it, think, well, do I really want to just follow that? What is the basis behind these rules? Like, here's one, spacing. Y'all, I've got a small backyard. I can't go 12 inches between crops, or 10 inches, or 18 inches. I have to put everything into the area that I have. So is that advice that I'd want to listen to? No. Is that advice that I've ever listened to? No. Is that advice that I'm ever going to really do moving forward? No. I'm going to garden what's best for my garden. So there's an example of advice that doesn't work for me, and it might not work for you. So keep that in mind. Now, without all that being said, y'all, I'm going to let everybody go. Y'all have a blessed day. If y'all got anything out of this video at all, do me the 5 favors: share, like, comment, hype, and subscribe to this channel if you've not done so already. Hit that join button if you want to join a laid-back, chill group of members here on YouTube that support each other. And on that, y'all take care. May God continue to bless each and every one of you, your gardens, your ways of looking at gardening, and just that joy. Again, slow down, observe. Think about what's best for you and your garden. And I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye.